Hey everyone, welcome to More Than Meets Guys. We are on episode 45 of the Challenge of the Gobots, Flight to Earth. I'm here with Boo of the Underground.com. And
Hey,
yeah, here it is. And we are continuing our journey and our exploration of what happens when um, some the two I guess you call it it's first coming of Zarek and Galvatron, the Master Renegade and Psych Hill. Um, are at the that possible victory, and they start divvying up, the goals.
yeah,
So,
those two I think are the most anticipated interactions
oh
that I've
yeah.
had in this show.
Anytime you ever see them talk, I mean, Braxis is he's Braxis, but anytime you ever see like Master Renegade and Psycho talk, like, oh, this is gonna be good, all right,
Yeah.
and it
Well,
always
well,
is.
Braxis is more of a toady, you know?
He is, he's kind of limited, I think, is the thing.
Yeah. And Master Renegade I think has a lot more potential.
Yes.
Let's see if he meets his potential.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of cool revelations as far as like things that came out towards the end of end of the toy line, I guess, or in
Hmm.
more towards the end of before Rock Lords in this episode. So it was kind of neat seeing all that too.
Yeah.
So let's get into this flight to Earth. And
Yes.
I gotta say, first of all, they do a recap, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the fires are actually kind of burning better on Gobotron now. They're not all going north. So yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. There's some that are kind of like, just kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's better. It's not perfect, but it's better.
It makes me think of that old hypothesis about space, how it was filled with ether. So it's like it's
That's
just
right.
burning into the ether.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Um, man, something about the way they did Crasher's eyes, because Crasher always has like kind of cat-like eyes. They're very cat-like in this episode.
Oh yeah,
Very
I think they use like a
pronounced.
lighter yellow or something because they
I think
really
that's what
stand
it is.
out. Like
Yeah.
even next to Fedor, like
Mhm.
his eyes have more of an orange tint to them compared to hers. Hers are like really light yellow.
Yeah, they stand out. And I know I've seen it before. Just it's like watching it thinking like I've never noticed them that drastically. So it was definitely a choice.
She's having fun.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
They're
oh
like
yes,
mood ring eyes.
pretty much. So they're she tells all of them in there that may as well get ready to go into the disassembler. And I expected kind of the last engineer to step up and say, "No, I got this," but he doesn't. Leader one, like he's so weak, he pushes out. And like, everyone behind me, I got this. Y'all get away, and then he falls over.
Yeah, he's not ready.
No, he's definitely not
Turbo
ready.
though, however, is.
Turbo, yeah, dude. He throws. It's like a hunk of machinery. That's like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's just a giant piece of machinery. I'm sure it was something important considering the building they're in.
Yeah. Yeah. You really hope it's not gonna come into needing that later.
Right.
Considering
That
what we
that'd
find
actually
out.
be an interesting plot point if they revisited that.
Turbo's like, I didn't know, guys. I'm sorry. And yeah,
I broke
the
the thermostat.
but yeah, so yeah, so like what was my notes were like, luckily Turbo was there to throw a hunk of machinery at Crasher and Phytor.
Oh
Um,
yeah, he hits both of them with it. Like he
oh
got
yeah.
two birds with one stone.
Well, that's a big stone. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's how
so
you do it. He solved the riddle.
yeah, last engineer is there. He takes out Phytor with his hand cannon.
Oh yeah, his one shot handgun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then
and then Turbo just rams into Crasher before she can stomp.
yep, you're right, her foot quake stomp thing.
Yeah,
Dude, and Copter and Tank are outside. They're, they they
yeah,
they try leaving Copter and Tank are out there in Tank's face. This whole
yeah,
episode.
yeah. They draw his face a few different ways, but
Uh-huh.
it's like none of them seemed like uniform. It was really odd.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, almost like they didn't have a model or a source to go off of. It just looked kind of bad.
Yeah. Well, the second time he showed up, part of his face is kind of like it looks smushed.
Yeah, it does.
So I was like, that could be marked up to like Turbo shooting him in the scene before or the shot before. So
Or a kid leaving him too close to the radiator. Either way.
yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. And it just kind of hurt my feelings a lot. Maybe I got used to your awesome thumbnail on that episode of Tank, but everyone check it out, please, in the old episodes. But the Yeah, the last engineer, he like pulls a lever and a control chair comes out and all these little panels start flipping out and stuff.
Oh yeah, it reminded me of remember Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends?
Mhm.
How their entire living room would turn into like a secret
Mm,
lair with all
that's right.
the equipment and computers from Stark Industries in it. That's what it
Yes.
reminded me of. It's
That's a good way to put it.
yeah. Yeah, it's a perfect like secret layer lever. Like
It is. It's you ever, it looks like yeah, it's basically like a looks like a leather brown handle on a metal lever he pulls it and everything changes.
every Bond villain just got jealous as soon as they saw that. They're like,
Well, especially because this guy isn't a ship in a silo. Like the
yeah,
top opens, they see they're in a silo, and the door that leads in there was like comes into like a blast door,
yeah.
and flames start kicking up, and the renegades start running because there's flames,
Oh
combustion's.
yeah, he's just like burning the whole thing out.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's got like a old PC joystick
he
to guide it.
does. He does.
It's got the thumb button on top and everything. He's ready to do like flight simulator or something.
Oh man, those are the great. I love those joysticks, the flight simulator joysticks. It was like the had like almost like a squared off thing. You had that one thumb button and like a
Yeah,
trigger button. I love those things. That's
that
nostalgia, kid.
was good stuff. Yeah.
That's nostalgia. But yeah, Turbo sees the flames and he takes off. He's like, "Yeah, I'm out of here," and he bolts past the renegades.
Oh yeah, he runs into Crasher and them on the way out again and Copter and
Yep. And
yeah,
Tank, as sad as he's looking.
Tank, poor Tank with his smushed face.
Yeah, there's a turret and you see like as he comes out, there's two guys there. I noticed water walk.
Yeah, it's Water Walk and Flytrap, and this is their first appearances chronologically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I used to have. I probably still do somewhere. Water walk, fly trap. I'm gonna try to look him up real quick, see what he looks like because I got my master list pulled down here so I can kind of look
Yeah, he's
around.
like an orange and blue garbage truck.
There he is. That's kind of sad.
I bet you could hit bash like the Transformers animated Wreck-Gar into
Oh yeah,
him
easily.
pretty easily. Yeah.
Yeah, he is garbage.
Yeah, and Water Walk, man, he's got the fancy reflective shades. He's got like the fires of Gobotron are dancing in his eyes,
Inspiring. Oh,
right?
saying I forgot to put this little note. The last engineer pulls out a control chair. It looks like. Did you ever see on the towards the end of SG1, like when the God, I cannot remember the name of his the MacGyver when he hit towards the end of his regular run as the leader of the team.
Yeah.
He sits in this chair of the ancients or whatever and starts
Hmm.
controlling everything. It came out and I thought like, man, this is just like he's getting his SG1 moment here.
Right,
Along
he's
like
got the ancient gene or whatever it is
yeah,
to
yeah. That's
yeah.
the last engineer, buddy. And so they actually take off and
Yeah,
they
Water Walk and Flytrap try their best to shoot him and like miss every shot. Like
yeah.
Last Engineer's a great pilot.
Well, considering what he's flying, as we'll find out later, it's
Yeah.
not really surprising. So yeah, they take off, and as they're flying off, they're all happy that they escaped. And the last engineer and the main crew escape this in this ship that the last engineer calls courageous.
Courageous, yeah. And anybody that knows GoBots will recognize that name.
Yep. I actually I didn't recognize. I always think of grungy, so
Yeah,
I thought courageous, huh? Because I had some of these little power suits. I didn't have actually the ship.
yeah.
Um, and there's they take off and we see was it this is where yeah I see Bad Boy again. Bad Boy and who else was with him?
Oh, isn't it, what's it? Blockhead.
Luckhead, thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
they are just running roughshod over Gobotron and
Mhm.
shooting anything that moves and
Yeah,
abducting them.
shooting probably. I'm guessing they're shooting with that weapon or not. No, probably just a regular weapon.
Yeah, he's just I don't know what he's shooting them with. They're just blasting them in general. So it could
Yeah.
be the transgressor that we find out later is its name.
Ah, that's the one
Yeah.
where the locksman in robot mode.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's just knocking them out, whatever's hitting
Oh
them,
yeah.
and then they land and then grab them from Guardians and throw them in.
Yep. There's I mean essentially they're just like collecting guardians and taking them to the they're supposed to take them to the prison moon, right?
Yeah,
Find
got to
out.
catch them all.
Then there's Buggy Man and Jeeper Creeper. They're pretty lousy all over the surface of Goatron.
Yeah, they're all over the place. And Sparky and Scooter are watching them and trying to
Yep.
figure out what to do. And then Scooter trips over what looks like, I don't know, muffler or catalytic converter.
Yeah, it's laying on
Eh,
the ground, which not surprising.
Yeah, and that alerts Jeeper Creeper and Buggy Man to them, so they have to flee from them.
Yep. And I get it. It's the trope. Of course, Scooter, he's the kind of the goof off. He's also the kind of silly one that we're supposed to identify with. So he's going to make
Right.
a loud noise. So yeah,
But he's
Sparky.
supposed to be the stealth guy at the same time, so it's
Yeah,
like
of course he is. And Sparky and him are actually just like basically create a little team for themselves.
Sparky's got some like big sister energy here.
100%. That's 100% right. I picked
Yeah.
up on that too. Yeah, that's what we're back in the Rogue Star. Cycle asks the Master Renegade about the weapon, and Master Renegade tells him he needs a crystal from Antares 3.
Yes, he tells him he wants him to convert the transgressor to work against humans.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
He
what he
wants to know
learns.
when it's going to be done. He told him last time. And the Master Renegade tells him he needs a triadium crystal to alchemize the beam. So we got some heavy, heavy techno babble here.
I was gonna say that does not sound anything like real.
Yeah. But that's good in sci-fi because
Yeah, yeah.
when you're dealing with stuff like this and you can't pin down what he's actually doing. So
Yep. So yeah, they had a little discussion, and it's only on Antares 3. It's protected by Vamp and Scorp, his Master Renegade's minions.
yeah, this is when he names Vamp and Scorp
Yeah.
finally. And Sidekill gets really mad because he hasn't told him that he needed that.
Yeah. And he basically he's kind of making it a way to bargain his way into ruler of Gobotron. Like, hey,
Yeah,
I'll take this and I'll get you your gun, but this is mine.
yeah, he's using that to negotiate. And he says Vamp and Scorp won't obey anyone but him.
Yeah. So then we find out they're going to do has a Cycle has a second plan because he's always a schemer. But
Always.
we'll get into that. And
But yeah, he says he wants to rule Gobotron.
yeah.
That's his cost for this. And man, Psycho gets mad.
And really, I mean, Cycle is not exactly treating Gobotron great either. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. And then right before Psykill's about to really lay into the Master Renegade, Screwhead tells him that Crasher's calling.
Yep. Screwhead gets a lot of airplay on this episode too.
Yeah, he does.
Um, so let me think here. I was going to ask about something. Well, it'll come to me, I'm sure. Anyways, Buggyman and Jeeper Creeper chase the two to a. She calls it a solenoid apparatus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's this. It's like a hangar, and they jump
Yeah.
into this. It looks like a
It's
ship.
like a cargo ship or something.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say later. It looks like there's this cruise ship with this batwing sail thing on the back of it. It looks kind of neat because it's just different.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's actually like usable for anything in particular besides, hauling freight. And so yeah, and there's a scene where they're like, hey, I think they went in there, and Buckyman's like, no, 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 wait, I got this, and like goes to a control panel and launches the ship.
Yeah, because Scooter's like, oh, they'll never, find us in here. And then
Yes.
immediately Buggy Man is like, hey, they're in there. And
It's
so
funny.
he launches them.
Yeah. So
And
they're in the ship, so I'm assuming that ship is like it doesn't have I don't know controls or something. Is it like supposed to be unmanned?
I guess, yeah. We find out later, we'll get to it, that
Okay.
Buggy Man programmed in coordinates for it to follow.
Oh, right into the sun.
Right.
I missed that part. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes more sense. Doc,
So
yep.
when Crasher is talking to Psykill,
Uh-huh.
Leader One's escaped because the last engineer, she calls him a meddling mechanic. She got a little Dr. Smith from like Lost in Space
Ooh,
there.
building mechanic.
Yeah. And then Fedor informs him that Leader One, the last engineer, and all their cohorts have escaped and are heading towards Earth. And
Yep.
Psykill gets really ticked and rages that humanity must not be warned because Earth is his next target for conquest. Like, that's the next place I'm going.
I'm gonna monologue more, so you know exactly what I'm gonna do there too.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of exposition. There's a lot going on in this episode.
These few episodes have been like that.
Yeah. So
All killer, no filler.
yeah, so they send both their thrusters, Crasher and Phytor in one thruster, and Copter and Tank in another,
Yeah.
go after Courageous.
And courageous.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Courageous is just outmaneuvering them.
They don't go into like warp space, hyperspace,
Yeah, yeah, they go into hyperspace.
and they're the others on the ship are like they're gonna catch us and they're gonna destroy us. And last engineer goes, yeah, well, think about those are big ships and this is not, so this is really maneuverable. So good luck having them hit us.
Oh yeah, and then the Guardians have a secret weapon on Copter's thruster because Turbo's hiding out in there.
He opens this panel. It looks back when I was in Florida where we were where I lived in this place. We had a pool, and like, have you ever seen those big pool, like toy like bins, the big plastic bins? You can have a hinge, you push it open. It
Oh
looked like
yeah,
he opened one of those things up and came out of it. I expect
oh
like a
yeah,
pool noodle to fly
he
out.
he pulled a solid snake.
He did.
He hid in a box and nobody noticed.
At all.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, he's not really quiet, so he's
yeah.
noticed all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, but he opens fire on them
Mhm.
and causes them to shoot Crasher's ship instead of Courageous.
Yeah, he hits Tank, and Tank does this whole like brew. He does this face palm across the controls, and it
Yeah.
causes like, Courageous gets out of the way, and Crasher and Fight Horse Thruster comes in view, shoots that, and it's just like comedy of errors for those guys.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and Crasher's just raging about it.
it's-
You know, and then the last engineer does like some maneuver and fires upon the two thrusters,
mhm.
making them crash into each other and
Yep.
drop out of hyperspace. And that leaves a big hyperspace rift open. But Turbo is knocked out by the drop out of hyperspace, and Tank drags him to the brig. Tank is not
Yeah,
happy with Turbo at all.
of course not. He made him look like an idiot. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying he is, but he's one of my favorites, but he's kind of an idiot.
But yeah, Crasher rages at the two of them over the intercom
Yeah.
and threatens Copter. Psycho will have him and Tank disassembled for this.
They're doing a lot of dissembling. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and let me see. That leaves us to where, oh my gosh.
Let's see. What do we have next? We have
Oh,
Psykill and Dr. Go.
yes, that's when I jumped ahead of here back and go back. Dr. Go
Yeah.
and Psykill send a renegade. Who is that renegade?
I don't know. He's just some
Okay.
generic looking renegade. We find out
It
his name
works.
in a bit.
Yeah, well, his new name at least.
Yeah.
So they send him through the
A
was it called the
modifier.
modifier? Thank you. I was going to say
Yeah.
transmogrifier.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
they've got their
modifier.
own modifiers.
Well, it looks like they programmed it to have a certain look to the what comes out, and what comes out is very reminiscent of Vamp, but not quite.
Yeah. So we get Pincher out of
Sure.
here. And yeah, so apparently that's one of Dr. Go's big jobs is he can program modifiers to on the fly.
Seems like there's a modeling after a older scientist who did a lot of experiments on physical experiments on people. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
saying that's what he is, but
Yeah.
with an accent
You mean
and
Dr.
monocle.
Moreau, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I meant.
that guy. No.
That's the one I meant. Yeah, that
Yeah, yeah.
completely fictional person who
Yeah.
had a monocle and talked in a German accent. So yeah,
Right.
that's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
But yeah, so he comes out as a monster GoBot and he's going to be
Yes.
sent to Antares 3 to try to undermine the Master Renegade's position of authority over the monster GoBots.
Which
Like,
I find funny. We find out, that he's not quite, I don't know, he's not quite ready. Like he hasn't cooked long enough.
yeah, because
He has,
Dr. Go wants him to wait a while so it can set.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he's like all rage and like, anger, monster renegade. We just know he just growls at the camera and like yells a little bit, but we all he knows
Honestly,
is
it reminds me kind of like from Beast Wars Inferno was made.
yes. Actually, the
Hype,
face, yeah, even the face had the kind of not real. It's not an ant, but how it looks kind of savage and
the crazy with the sharp teeth and all that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's exactly what it reminds me of. So yeah, so he was like, too bad, we're going. Send him to
Yeah,
Antares 3.
Psykill is not waiting, and
No.
you can tell with that he's really feeling kind of threatened by the Master Renegade.
Oh yeah, he's
Because if
kind
he wasn't, he'd take time and just do it. But also, I guess he's feeling threatened by the last engineer
of,
heading towards Earth now. He wants to get everything in place before they're ready.
Yeah, so this obviously now we've learned that the his whole plan is to send Pincher there to like infiltrate with Vamp and Scorp. Like,
Yeah.
hi guys, I'm just like you. Where's the crystal?
Oh, and that's what it was. Screwhead told him that Crasher failed to stop
That's it.
the last engineer from reaching Earth, and that's when he's like, "We can't wait 2 days for
Yep.
Pincher to be ready. He's got to go now."
Yep. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what he should have had more time, but because of all that this stuff has been happening, them getting the last engineer, getting Leader One back online, Turbo interfering, and the Courageous ship, everything's moved up way up on the timetable. So
I'm
now,
really curious to know like what has to set over those 2 days. Like, is it a programming thing? Is there something else? Because when Smallfoot was run through the modifier, she was ready to go.
well,
So
Smallfoot
I
was,
think it maybe something about the monster programming, maybe.
that's what I'm wondering. Like he's a little too savage and too feral, but
Yeah.
Smallfoot just got refurbished to what she already was.
Like, how does it affect their minds to
Yeah.
get a new mode like that? Like, how much play does that have on it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, because with her, no big deal. Just say in a small fit again, but I can change forms. With Pincher, it was like a whole rehash of his entire form. So, and yeah,
Yeah, because he was like a completely different guy. He was kind of, I guess, a gold color.
he looked like a boxy,
Yeah,
kind of plain Jane. I don't know. It kind of reminded me of like the how Crane Brain,
yeah,
his robot look kind of looked like that. He had kind of squarish head and no frills. So,
yeah. And
yeah,
they'd said before that with Smallfoot, when she was going through it, they'd never put someone through twice. So
yeah.
is this his first form, and where did he come from if it is? Or is it was Smallfoot just the first time they put a Guardian through twice? Because Renegades kind of play fast and loose with this sort of thing, it feels like.
Well, that maybe like I said though, or we were talking about, she just got rehashed in her own form where he is completely new. It's almost again, it's kind of seems kind of feral like. So who
Hmm.
knows? We'll see. So we know where he's going
Right. And then we find out about Sparky and Scooter, where they're going on their little cruise
to the sun, baby.
to the sun. Yeah, they're both going to get a tan. They're already red from it, so.
Oh, that was nice. But on the way there, they see at this Guardian command center just like abandoned, floating in space. Like,
Yeah, it's just stationary, they
what's
said.
going on here? And you'd assume like maybe it got disabled or something during the fighting. It's just kind of sitting out here.
Like it's
So
adrift.
yeah, like it's just out there adrift in space because this is on the way to the Gobotron's sun. So it could have been like it escaped the gravity of Gobotron and just kind of sitting out there. So
Yeah, they passed close enough where they're going to try to use their boot rockets to
yeah,
reach it.
which I've never seen them refer to their like little jets as boot rockets, but yeah,
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 I always thought before it was like anti-gravity, but maybe they have both because,
yeah,
if you remove gravity, you still need some sort of propulsion to give you a push. So maybe they got a little bit of both.
yeah. I mean that makes sense. A little combustion in their boots.
It's more of that GoBot technology that will seem like magic to us.
Cobot technology will seem like magic to you. Um,
Our poor little primitive primate brains can't can comprehend it.
but our primitive primate brains have a little help because the last engineer and the others arrive in Earth's orbit, and they've escaped, warp space, and they're flying right towards what is the base?
Oh, Unicom.
Unicom. Thank you. That's the one
Yes.
that they work together with the Guardians. That's right.
Yeah, so that's like their new, I guess, division
Yes.
because they were NASA before, but now they're Unicom. So
Mhm. A
so that
unified
yeah,
command or something. Yeah. So yeah, they fly there, and when they get there, the general, what's his name?
Newcastle.
Newcastle. He's like, hey, he sees Matt, and like Matt's like, hey, we got this guy here. He's got something we need to take a look at inside. And they go in. Basically, the last engineer gives them like a PowerPoint on this really cool looking I don't know, robot thing with little limbs and stuff, which we come to know as Courageous, the combining power suit
Yeah.
Guardian robot. And we,
And right away when they tell General Newcastle what's happened on Gobotron, the first thing he says, "Oh, he'll be heading to Earth next then."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Generally Newcastle, he's picking up on it pretty quick.
yeah,
And
he's a
yeah, which
smart dude.
yeah, thank goodness, because
Yeah,
he didn't start off that way. Uh so they we go back to Sparky and Scooter, who have taken the rocket boots and are like trying to get onto the command center to see what's going on. And they kind of look through, I don't know, they look through a like a porthole or
it's like
something.
yeah, like a window.
Yeah. You know, the windows in space. And they find out that the command center is a detention center that's is manned by Royalty and Twin Spin.
Yeah, it's like they see all these damaged Guardians in there. See Rescue, Pathfinder, Night
Yep.
Ranger, and Wrong Way.
Yes. And actually, that was the remember I saw the last episode that there's a double bladed helicopter. I was trying to think of what I've got it got him had him when I was younger too as Twin Spin.
Yeah,
That's the one. And I had a Royalty actually. It's kind of neat.
yeah, and well, it's kind of weird here
Uh-huh.
because Royalty was marketed as a Guardian,
Yes, he was.
but
I
he's a
was going to
bad
bring that
guy
up.
here. Yeah, so
We
that
got
was a surprise, and they won't let Rescue like repair any of the wounded Guardians.
oh yeah, well, no, you don't want any. Yeah, I'm actually looking at like the thing on Royalty. Yeah, it says Guardian, but apparently not here. Yeah, I had him a lot when I was younger. I
Yeah,
played with him a lot when I was younger, rather. But yeah, so yeah, they're not allowed to, and they see a thruster coming up to the command center. So Sparky and Scooter hide, and that's where
yeah.
you have Tank and Copter bring it over Turbo. So the gang's all getting back together.
Right? Yeah, Copter radios over to Spoiler to ask if they have room for one more prisoner, and they're like, "Oh, we always got room for one more."
Is a spoiler. I know that's Peter Cullen.
Yeah, that's totally Peter Cullen.
It sounds like Optimus Prime and Ironhide had a love child.
Yeah,
It's 100% Peter Cullen.
yeah, it's like he's doing like a little bit of strain in his voice.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's definitely that. It was just kind of funny hearing that. Um, which spoiler is actually a pretty cool looking figure. Also, he looks like a small version of Sideswipe.
Yeah,
But
he's the guy that got surprised in the prison earlier.
that's right.
Yeah,
You're not in the Cool Red gang though, buddy.
yeah.
Um,
So
so
yeah,
they bring.
Tank transfers Turbo over,
Mhm. So now you have
and
Turbo and there were the others.
they abuse him the whole way over.
Yeah, they do, and he's looking rough too.
Yeah,
But
Uh, they're doing the whole jock thing, I'm gonna push you and trip you, knock you down,
yeah,
and
break
Twin
your
Spin's
spirit,
menacing him with his rotors.
man. And that's when they Scooter and Sparky get into the Guardian command center, like the little panel underneath. Scooter has a
Right.
plan. And so he starts like taking sensors for the ship and plugging them into him, like making it seem like after Thruster leaves. So it's
Yeah.
just them again. Starts making it look like the engines aren't working, they're overheating, and then like they it was tw his name is again is
Spoiler
no,
or
well,
Twin
spoiler. It
Spin?
could have been spoiler. He's like, let's take a look at the video. And so Scooter takes and puts the thing into his head and gives him like a false image of what's going on. And yeah, once again, he's doing the full infiltration. He's actually being a really, good member of the crew.
Oh yeah,
Or
he's overriding the computer and giving him all kinds of false alarms to think it's about to blow up.
yeah, he shows them an image of the Guardian command center like doing this like kind of flashing thing, and they're like, "Let's get out!" And they escape. And then you're like, "Well, that won't take long for them to figure that out." But I don't know, man. Spoiler and Twin Spin are idiots, so
Yeah.
I
Now
don't know.
here's the odd thing about it, okay?
Yeah.
Is earlier you had Royalty with Twin Spin, and then you don't
Mhm.
see Royalty anymore.
No, I think that was a
You know,
mistake.
yeah, because
Sure.
he's there when Turbo is getting brought over, but then everything after that, it's spoiler.
Yeah. Well, hey,
So
maybe
yeah,
he left on the ship with and Thruster. Who knows?
yeah, or they got some character models mixed up, is what I think.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
Royalty was, should have been a Guardian. I mean, he was Matt is even flying Royalty in the what was it the weeds of Calcarian?
yeah.
Yeah. So but who was
Well,
actually
that was
called
leader one.
that
So
was called
see,
Leader One. It was Royalty.
that dude's character model is everywhere.
He gets around. He gets around.
Everybody wants the new Harrier jump jet.
I mean, it's a cool looking jet, honestly.
Maybe they traded in their Pepsi points for that one.
So So yeah, the Scooter goes out there and frees all the prisoners, and in the end, the turbos.
Well, they don't know that he's freedom though. They just
Yeah,
know all the doors open.
they start wandering out, looking out. There's Night Ranger and oh God, where are the other ones on there? There's Rescue. They're stopping. They're looking out this door, like what's going on? And even Turbo's like pulling panels off the wall,
Oh
trying
yeah, he
to
was
get
like gonna
out.
burrow out.
He's like pulling off panels to go through the walls of the ship,
Oh yeah,
and he
you got
goes,
Blaster and all of them there.
yes.
Yeah.
So pretty good little group to go. Yeah. So
Eh.
yeah, he like Scooter's like, you guys are free, and
Oh yeah, well I like well they don't know they're there and they go to storm the bridge. They're gonna go
that's right.
yeah, beat down on the guard on the Renegades and
That's right.
Turbo and then just kick the door in like it shatters.
Mm.
And then like Sparky's just standing there and Scooter's hiding. Scooter's like somebody's beating down the door.
Sparky's like, hey guys, it's just
Yeah, and
us.
then he pops out and waves at Turbo and then everything's okay.
Yeah,
But
it
that
was.
was a funny scene because they were just battering down the door to the bridge.
Oh yeah. So so the ones captured Guardians are they're gonna get the command center and try to escape. Try to escape the actual gravitational pull of Gobotron.
Yeah.
But Screwhead is like they're on the wrong trajectory now, so he sends over three thrusters to pursue.
See, that's why he's on Rogue Star.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
paying attention to what's going on. I think he's the only renegade that's really paying attention to what's going
Yeah, man.
on.
I'm a fan of Screwhead in this episode. He's been on track with everything.
Yeah. There's always
Uh,
like one competent guy like on
yes,
each
yes.
team.
Not the one I would expect at Screwhead.
Yeah.
So yeah, they fly the command center and then they find that weird rift that was left open from when the last engineer messed up the warp space for the.
Yeah. Well, they go through a debris field and
That's
leave
right.
the thrusters like through the
Yeah,
Empire Strikes
meteor
Back
field.
type chase, you
Yeah,
know.
it's like a planet blew up or something. Yes,
Yeah, I don't know if it's asteroids or meteoroids or whatever, but it's
space
just out of
rocks.
nowhere. Yeah, it's space rocks,
The,
and
the,
they just fly
you-
through them, and then yeah, the rift is just there, and they're like, "Let's go."
I always
So
love it when you have cartoons and there's something's going to be blowing up or something's going to be offset. There's a certain one. So you see all these really detailed asteroids or meteorites or space rocks. You see
yeah,
one that's like dull and like blue gray, like that's going to get blown up.
yeah, it's
Sure
it's
enough.
the difference between what's painted and what's an animation cell laid over the
Yes.
top of it.
Exactly what that is. I was like, you're watching something and you see like a tree that's an animation cell. Obviously, the rest of its background, you know what's going to happen. So yeah, that goes and blows up. But the Guardian Command Center finds the rift, and as it goes
Eh,
through it, the rift closes. So the three thrusters stop and realize they can't,
Yeah, they
pursue.
like bank out of the way. It was actually
Yeah,
pretty well animated,
yeah.
but the interior of that rift, it it looked like Mardi Gras in there. It was like
Uh,
every color you can imagine.
with a lot less bad decisions. Yes,
Oh, I don't know. Earth's on the other side of that rift.
that's where all the bad decisions
That's
go.
all the bad decisions.
So yeah, we go back to Crusher and Phytor, who finally arrive at Earth, and they go stealth with the thruster, and they go down and follow where the Guardians have gone with the
Yeah.
Courageous ship.
And Phytor is upset because he's like, we didn't go back for repairs like Copter did. Copter said he was going back to dry dock for
Which
repairs.
I kind of like that little detail. It makes a lot of sense. And we're gonna go back dry dock, do some repairs, and yeah, Phytor's like we should have done that, man.
The continuity's pretty tight
It
in
is
this
really tight.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. It feels like a cohesive, full-on story,
Right.
which is something unfortunately in Transformers you don't always get.
Yeah. Well, especially
Uh,
episode to episode, you don't get
oh
it as
yeah.
tight as this.
Even the multi-part series, there's some like oof, that's a bold choice. Um,
Right?
but here it's just like boom, boom, boom. It happens all along the way, and they go and fly out and they're hiding behind this like ridge to watch what's going on.
Yeah, because Crasher's determined to make up for
Yeah,
messing up earlier. She is really upset about letting
right.
Cykill down. So,
Yeah, she doesn't want to let Psykill down. It's not her way.
yeah.
And they see this they hear the mention of a new weapon. And they see some like weird blocky thing flying around.
Oh yeah, because Phytor has already hacked into the communications of
Yes.
Unicom like right away. So
Which once again, Screwhead and Phytor, both of them
yeah,
brilliant. I have no qualms, no problems with any of them. They're
They need
doing
to
great.
upgrade Unicom's communication.
Encrypt it.
Yeah, something. They need to use Gobot encryption because human tech apparently can't hold up to that Gobot magic like tech.
I was about to
Because
say, they need to have some of that magic from the technology of the GoBots that would seem like magic to their
and
primitive.
looking at the outside of Unicom, it kind of reminds me of the pit from G.I. Joe,
I can
like
see that.
like the
Yeah,
old G.I. Joe
yeah,
base.
yeah. I can see
All
that.
all it needs is like the big gun sticking out of the front.
Did they ever use a big gun in the TV show?
Not that I'm aware
I
of,
don't
but I'm
think so.
sure yeah, it might have happened somewhere.
It probably happened in a comic.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm like Larry Hama probably used it.
Oh yeah, Larry Hama's like, where can I shoot? What can I shoot?
Don't
Um,
give me a big old gun if I can't shoot it.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they get a look at Leader One testing out a power suit.
And he's happy. He is smiling.
Oh, he's top gunning it.
Oh, he's loving it. And it goes stealth for a second too. It
Yeah,
goes
he
back
goes
out.
invisible, so it's got stealth capability on top of that. So like power
Dude,
suit, they named that thing right.
yeah. Yeah, Leader One, seriously, he is having he is grinning from ear to ear. He's like, this is the best thing ever. It's like Christmas morning for Leader One.
Oh yeah.
We get gives us a little peek of what's coming. So yeah,
Yeah.
if any of y'all are GoBots fans, and you probably know what courageous is or grungy, so you can get an idea what's coming.
Yeah, well, this is Chekhov's gun here, so
Yeah, 100% that.
yeah.
So yeah,
Chekhov's power suit.
it's cool looking. It's weird how they made something that looked really kind of dumb as a toy, unless you saw probably the show, into something kind of cool in the show. Because
Yeah.
it was basically like we know what they look like. There were these empty little plastic flip down things that you put a GoBot in.
They look like stand-up roller coaster
Yes, that's a great
cars.
way to put it. That's a
Yeah.
great way to put it, actually. They this makes them actually look cool. I can see you wanting to go out and collect all of them now.
You always need the cartoon to sell these toys. That's the one thing they learned in the 80s
Yes.
is it's got to have a cartoon to sell the toys.
Well, like I had shown you a screenshot from one of the Transformers groups. I'm not gonna call it out or anything, but someone was saying like I think that the reason why the American series failed is because of Target Masters and Headmasters. I'm like, no, dude, what failed is the fact there was no show anymore.
Yeah, the marketing and that was the whole thing that, pushed, Masters of the Universe and all that.
Yeah,
It was
all of that.
this previously illegal marketing because it was so
Yes.
powerful. You had to keep it running. And seriously, that marketing can change like your whole viewpoint. Like I didn't like Beast Wars at all when the toys first came out and I read the little mini comic.
Yeah,
I thought the
it was
concept
great.
was dumb. Their names were terrible. And I was like, yeah, I was coming right out of G2 for that. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah. And
they
then
saw the
the
show.
cartoon came out. Yeah, I saw the show and it changed everything. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
no, this is actually good. I can get past the names, and they completely threw out that mini comics concept.
which is good because it wasn't really good at all.
Yeah, even Detilio and Forward said that was I think one of them described it as dumber than dirt.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's extremely
Yeah,
fair.
it was bad, and I wasn't a fan of like the Optimus Primal Bat and Crocodile Megatron being basically like the leaders were the smallest figures.
Yeah, I mean that came with a two pack, and didn't it come with it? Oh, I'm thinking the Razor Claw little crap came with a video of
Yeah, they
one
came to
episode.
videos. Yeah,
Yeah, they came with that, but they came as a two pack with that little comic. And the
the
comic
mini
was
com.
very, yeah, the mini comic was very like, okay, I mean this in the nicest possible way because I like the concepts. It felt very He-Man mini comic. Like they were
Oh
trying to do
yeah,
something like that, and it just did not work really well. It almost looked like they took some kind of Swamp Thing concept with genetically modifying the Transformers, and that's where you get from it. But it was a big swing and a miss.
oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the part that killed me was Megatron, taking on an organic form to be more powerful. I'm like, because it was supposed to be G1 Megatron
Yeah,
and G1
which
Optimus
that's
Prime, and I'm like, G1 Megatron would rather just die and become
yeah,
organic.
which is a lot of the crux of where we go and like not to keep name shows here, go from Beast Wars to Beast Machines. I like how Megatron wasn't that. I completely understood that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Makes
That
you
was
wonder if they put the right spark back.
Yeah, exactly. That whole show is bad as a lot of how problematic it was. Megatron in that was good. He was the hero. He was the hero
Oh,
Cybertron needed.
I don't know. I really like Tankor.
Oh yeah, Tankor.
Tankor
Well,
was the best in my opinion.
once you find out what's going on, and he, no, I was there was these great I'm sorry, we're getting all on a tangent, but these
Yeah.
great images of like the Megatron, and there's like it was like a World War II style propaganda film where you see the tanks, Tankor tanks, and everything, and the jet storm jets flying. He's like standing up there.
Oh yeah, it was Art Deco like
It
all
was
the
so
way.
cool. I really liked it a lot. But that show had a lot of good concepts. Really poor execution a lot of the times.
Well, it didn't stick the landing at the end, I thought.
I think you're right. I think if it had stuck the landing, it would have been remembered a lot more fondly.
Yeah, and it was I guess the franchise was getting kind of tired of the Beast concept
It was because we're
because
going into trans tech, weren't we?
yeah, Transtech was going to be the next thing. And when the Japanese car robots series came out, like everyone was blown away. Like we were ready for cars and trucks again and planes
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
And, something closer to, and I know some people hate this term, an evergreen design. Something getting back to that.
Yeah,
So, where it wasn't truly that way, but it was little bit closer. You saw the inside part of Fire Convoy. He looked like Optimus Prime's face.
right.
Yeah, you wanted stuff like that again. A lot of people did. They clamored for it.
Well, an important thing with Transformers
Uh-huh.
and with GoBots is
Yeah,
that their vehicle forms look like vehicles you can relate to.
exactly.
Because I think that the franchise always kind of flounders when they get away from like realistic vehicle designs.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of what happened towards the end of Transformers in the US.
Oh yeah, which like the people you were talking to that were blaming the headmasters and target masters,
Yeah,
that played a little bit into it,
sure.
but that actually started with the movie with all the space cars and stuff.
Yeah, and I would say even like Pretenders even took a big chunk out of that too. And
Oh
there's a
yeah,
lot of
because
things that, yeah, they were
well, the
good.
less they look like real cars and planes and stuff, the I guess the less of the draw, because that's one of their appeals.
Yeah, and I think Master Force actually treated them really well with the idea of these guys, and like it was almost like Super Sentai guys in business
Right.
suits and stuff who could like do the call in there when they grab their arm.
Oh, with the bracelets, yeah.
Pretender. And yeah, of course the monsters being the Decepticons. So
Right.
it's there's all these kinds of concepts, and what I like about the what they were doing with, sorry, it took a huge tangent for me to get back to this with
Right.
GoBots is they didn't just show up with randomly with a bunch of monsters. There's actually a reason, like they have a theme and a purpose because they're
Right.
like the Master Renegades kind of protectors. So that's where you start to see the monster renegades.
Yeah, there was bodyguards and they're supposed to be scary and fearsome. Like that whole place was built to scare people off.
Yeah, and honestly, they've been there for a long time. He probably modified them to be like, scary looking creatures. And they
Right.
also have, scary weapons and stuff. But I like that idea. I like the concept of that, where, the Guardians have been looking at Earth vehicles, except for
Yeah.
Pathfinder, who's been like looking at the Cylon planet, as we've just already
Right.
discussed. So yeah, it was a really cool way to do it, and I like that a lot.
Well, and the monster gobots really have like an H.R. Giger feel to them.
They do. You can actually see that, especially like Vamp,
Yeah.
and I think Pincher is a lot of the same way. Curve, like organic, but almost like insectoid. I don't know designs.
Yeah. And their body armor looks almost like a carapace sometimes. Like
Does.
looks very chitinous.
I mean, very much with Vamp. The one time we saw, the time we saw Vamp at the beginning, that she
Yeah.
was standing in front of that gate, and she looked like she was like a statue or like a chitinous creature of some
Yeah.
sort.
Now Scorp is more blocky. He's like a
Yeah,
blocky robot scorpion.
yeah.
But yeah, Vamp and Pincher, they look like monsters like in either form.
They do. Actually, are we, not to spoil anything, are we going to see any others that come along? Like, was I looking at, let's see, I was looking at, there's Pincher,
Come on, like creepy.
Claws, Hornet, yeah, Creepy, those guys. I was kind of curious. Yeah, there's Creepy. Should I have Creepy somewhere too? Huh, I forgot about that.
I got
Yeah.
creepy everywhere, they say.
Yeah, you need to take a shower is why.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool looking at this list. It's on Transformers Land, everyone. If you want to take a look at the Gobots list, pretty neat. I forgot that I had the Wendy's Kids Meals toys like Beamer and Guide Star and Skyfly. I completely forgot about those.
Oh yeah.
So, kind of cool stuff, man. It kind of it brings back a lot of cool memories of the stuff. But I mean, to finish off the episode, we this is where we are. We have the concept for Courageous and the power suits being teased heavily.
Oh yeah. Well, and we get one more visit with Psykill and the Master Renegade.
That's right.
Yeah. Because Master Renegade demands to negotiate with Psykill over the Triadium crystal.
Yep.
And Psycho tells him, I don't need you anymore. I've sent my own emissary to deal with Vamp and Scorp.
Yep.
Eh,
That's it's kind of nice because then the Master Renegade is like, oh, okay, he's not dumb. I got to actually up my game now.
Oh yeah, and Psykill ups his game a lot because he tells him if you ever he threatens him, says you ever try to cross me again, I'll put you back where the Guardians found you, and you won't merely be asleep. So
I
we
like
just
it.
had like an overt death threat
Oh,
from
100%.
Psykill. Yeah.
He doesn't joke around about it. He's like, I will end you and I'll leave you on that planetoid. Good luck.
A- And Master Renegade actually backs down.
Well, because I feel like in a large way, he knows he's kind of outclassed here.
He
I don't
doesn't
know.
have his pistol
That's it. Because he probably gave his pistol to be used
to make
to
the transgressor.
yes, the transgressor.
Which that's what Psykill sends him back to work on. Go continue your work on the transgressor. So
Yeah. If you just imagine, like, he's like, oh, I should have kept a little back so I had some more bargaining posture.
yeah.
But maybe he underestimates Psykill, and Psykill makes him pay hard for it. So,
Oh yeah. Psykill is like getting very aggro with him.
oh yeah,
And if I was Master Renegade, I'd be very worried about my position in the new Gobotron because
oh yeah,
yeah.
he's not gonna run it.
Oh no.
This is where you
You're gonna be
have.
replaced by Dr. Go at the first opportunity.
Sorry, Master Renegade. Oh, that's not gonna.
That was more Russian, I
Actually, yeah,
think.
that was.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Matt's honey. Oh, we never
Oh
see.
yeah. Which we haven't seen her at all.
Uh-uh. She probably got shipped back.
Right?
She has to stand trial at the Kremlin for what her for kissing an American. Who knows? But here
Yeah,
we
the bourgeoisie kisser.
are. Here we go. So
But
yeah,
yeah,
that
Psykill declares that when Pincher returns, that they're going straight for Earth.
yep.
Like he's not waiting anymore.
And I mean, how many episodes do we have left of this? Like one
One
or two?
more.
One more.
One.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
part four. So
That's right. The Return to Gobotron, I think, is the next one, right?
yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
it's pretty brutal. So, but like I said, they're keeping a cohesive story, so it's really nice to see that.
Yeah,
And
they're good at carrying the intrigue through the story.
they are.
Yeah.
Even though I was really happy to see the fact that they do not spend an egregious amount of time on a recap, because some of these shows they'll spend the first quarter of the episode doing recaps.
Yeah.
They give a quick and dirty, this is what's happening, and jump in. So once again, really
And,
impressed. Yeah.
and to answer your question earlier, yeah, you will get to see some of the other monsters
Oh, good.
as time goes on.
Good. Are they? I take it they're probably in the rest of the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. They
Yeah.
come up later.
Okay. That makes sense. That's like you said, this series should have come after the original miniseries. It makes so much more sense this way.
Oh,
So,
totally.
yeah, a good way to do it. And everyone who's listening, if you listen this far, and I appreciate that if you do, and I know Boo does as well. He does all of our art on the thumbnails and helps me a lot with the gifs and things like that. Helps me do the research. Actually, I'll let him do a lot of it. But the
I love it.
I know you do. That's why I'm like, why am I doing this work and this hard when you could just do it? Um, yeah, if y'all could give us like a nice review, say a little blurb, like I like Jeeper Creeper's face or something. I don't know. Whatever you'd like to do. So we'd appreciate that. Give us some stars on the old Spotify or the Apple Podcasts, or if you're watching on YouTube, a thumbs up and a follow and tell your friends. Basically, this is something that we do every week, and it's really a hobby, and this is I enjoy it because we get to revisit things like this and also build a community, which is on the Discord. You can email us at morethanmeetstheseguys@gmail.com, or say hi on the YouTube like Crasher always does. We appreciate that.
Oh yeah, we love when people talk back to us.
Yeah, give some feedback. It's kind of cool. I'd like to get involved. And also, if you guys have some sort of requests, if we can accommodate it, that we'd be glad to do some things like that. So we really
Oh yeah.
appreciate it. And man, tell us if you got a friend who's having a birthday. We'll shout it out or something. Whatever works. So, anyways, thanks y'all so much for being here this week, and we have one more episode to go till we get to the end of this little series. So, until then, everybody.